Shut up, Paul. I forgot to YouTube.
Wait, what?
It's Paul Delaney in chat. I didn't forget to have YouTube.
I mean, I can see where he's coming from.
Shut up, Paul.
I can see where he's coming from.
No one asked you, Paul.
I'm surprised they don't have like a bingo game going on.
Somebody said banana waffles in chat, and it just reminded me I have a banana in my bag I forgot to take out from this morning.
You should go look at it.
Wait, I might have forgot to bring it.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Jay's lost his bananas.
I lost my banana.
And his marbles were in the same bag.
Dang it. It's only like, what, how many hours later that I'm realizing I forgot to eat my banana?
I know, it's going to be all like, or whatever.
I don't know where it's at. I might have left it in the car. I hope not.
Oh.
Well, it's not hot today, at least.
Yeah, thankfully. It does. It just pops, and then just like, the juices go.
Ew. Banana balloon popped. Hey, what's up, everyone? JayzTwoCents here, and freaking Phil and Nick.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat was like, yeah, shut up, Paul.
Everyone in chat, can we on the count of three get a shut up Paul in chat? No. 1, 2, 3. Shut up, Paul. Like, say it too. Like, if someone's just watching you
Poor
watch
Paul,
the live
like,
stream.
He's like trying to defend it. He's like, no, Jay, you've forgotten it before.
I like to imagine someone sitting in the Starbucks with headphones on, and they randomly just gonna be like, shut up, Paul, in the middle. And the Starbucks Paul's gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
Wow. Funny. What an interesting start to the show.
Somebody said, so sad, no alcohol today. Yeah, we have stuff to drive to afterwards, so we can't.
Yeah.
We couldn't spend like what was it, like 2 hours extra last time with the 50-piece nuggets that we ordered.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to do my workout after the show. Working out and being drunk just do not go hand in hand.
You'll break a personal best and probably limbs.
And just all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, you metabolize it faster.
The one time I've worked out like drunk, I thought you were
going to say the one time you've worked out, but I was like, well, yeah. I know you've worked out more than one time.
No, I remember like specifically not feeling the fatigue pain from the muscles, like the lactic acid. I was like, this is great, dude. Like, I can keep going, dude. It's just 5 sets of bench presses. Let's go. I was so sore the next day. Like, I was probably injured. Like, it was probably because you can't feel the pain, right? So then you're just going to injure yourself.
I don't know. Drunk people tend to go, ow. But maybe they're just saying ow because they realize something happened, but they don't actually feel the ow.
Right. It's like more of just the surprise of falling into a wall or something.
It's like when a kid cries because they got like jump scared. Mm-hmm. Have you ever scared somebody and had them say ow? Because I have.
What?
My sister's the kind of person that would be like, boo, ow.
Oh, it's just like as a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just do I don't think I usually scream. I do you tense every muscle in your body, so then you just vibrate. Yeah, you just like chihuahua for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just, your whole head.
You break a tooth because you bit too hard.
Try painkillers and half marathons. Oh my God.
Wow. Let's not go down the rabbit hole of try blank.
So yeah.
It'll go dark quick.
Yeah, there's lots of things you can try. That sounds like smurfing though. Painkillers and marathons. I
guess. It's like, is there something we could take that would make smurfing better? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out tonight. So, tentatively,
JayzTwoCents.
Yeah, we're going to do a science experiment tonight with our Rocket League Smurfs.
Tentatively tonight, Phil and I are going to play some Rocket League while influenced.
Elevated.
It's fully legal in our state, okay? Just saying.
I don't know if you guys are going to get a stream or not. You might.
Well, yeah. I mean, my stream base, like my fan base on Twitter or Twitch, would just absolutely eat it up. Yeah. Literally.
We should totally.
They would eat it up. Phil.
Somebody said who turned on the laughing gas. No, that's later. Literally.
I don't know how I'm going to be.
Mark Dizzle thinks you're going to be like Grand Champ.
Oh, did you tell him?
He has to start air dribbling.
I was inviting them. I was just trying to get him in.
We need to 4x4 chaos.
I know.
With it. So for those that are wondering, basically, my wife got us edibles, but they're like gummies.
The little gummies.
So I had a sleeping. So she got one that's like
Kelly Stealth 420 says already elevated. I think the name might have something to tell. That's awesome.
So basically, like my wife got THC gummies. One is like a sleeping one, like a sleeping aid one. Basically, it's like heavy melatonin kind of with the THC sort of a.
In the couch.
I don't know how.
That's how I remember.
Melatonin?
Indica is in the couch.
I don't know how it
in the
works,
couch.
honestly. And then like a happy one. So I'm gonna try that happy one tonight. The problem is like if you guys know, just like my gastric bypass with alcohol being direct injected, we found out the same happens with THC. So it's literally like real time mood adjustments.
Because I was telling him like, hey, set a timer for like an hour and a half because it takes a long time for the it takes a long time for the like effects to happen for a
Not
normal
me.
person. Yeah, for a normal person that doesn't have a gastric bypass that just
Literally, I
directly-
was watching The Office. So it was like 10:30, 11 at night, and I told my wife, I was like, I could feel that whole like anxiety of like I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Like I'm so tired, I won't be able to sleep.
Oh yeah, I hate
And
that.
and then you're like, then you start dreading like I don't want to go to sleep because I'm just gonna wake up. And you're like, you fight it. I told my wife, I'm like, let me have one of the gummies. So we both took one, and it was funny because I don't do like weed. I don't smoke weed or anything. Right? One time in high school was like the only time ever I had tried. And so this was my first time. I'm like, I'm about to be 42 years old, right? Phil's probably proud. So it's like a 5 milligram dose or whatever, right? So I'm chewing it and I'm like, sweet. Oh, it's kind of followed by that skunky flavor of like weed. I'm like, that's weird. And then my wife was like, okay, good night. She took hers and went to sleep. My wife fell asleep. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV and I'm like, because the TV was like, sorry guys, that was my Windows update telling me updates waiting. Anyway, so basically the TV was like, "Ka-ding." No. So anyway, the TV was like,
slowly. So Jay was getting like the ID focus thing there.
but basically I was like this, watching it like. And you know how a dog hears a sound it doesn't recognize?
Oh,
Its
you
head
tilt
starts-
it. Yeah. You're trying
But
to
then,
like locate
but
it.
then I
yeah?
felt like I was going into the bed, like I was being pulled down into the bed.
I remember before the show when Jay was telling me about
Like I
this.
felt my body getting heavier.
I was like, it's just all the 100% stereotypes, like all the exact things that
Fighting
like,
gravity.
Yeah.
And then Phil was like, how long from when you like took the gummy to when all that started happening? I'm like, 10 minutes. And he was like, dang.
So jealous. Yeah. I literally, I don't feel anything until like at least an hour afterwards.
No, but basically I was laying there. And here's the other thing too, is like my body still fought. Like after I'd fall asleep, I woke up more that night than I think I ever have.
Yeah. Because it raises your heart rate. Which is counterintuitive.
I remember waking up and like violently fluffing my pillow. So like,
oh, because you were trying to get it to feel nice?
my wife scooted over to the very edge of the bed because I remember flipping on my side and taking my pillow and was like, I remember literally I was like hooking it.
Because fluffy stuff feels so good though. Like when you lay down in it, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, but I was like,
You're like, oh, it's a fluffy.
I was like full on tension, just like hook shotting it, like bam, bam, like a headlock shotting it, and it was like behind my head and all comfy. And I remember my wife, I feel her like scoot farther and farther away.
It's just like stuff is happening over there.
So anyway, the whole point of that was tonight we're gonna
Somebody
try.
said you were getting pulled down into the bed. Yeah, it's called gravity.
Yeah, but it's like gravity was intensifying.
Yeah.
But anyway, tonight, if all goes according to plan, Phil and I are going to play Rocket League with some friends while I'm having happy gummies.
It'll be
I
great.
don't know what makes it happy.
Yeah.
I don't.
We finna see. We finna see.
What makes the laughing gas in laughing gas? The laughing and the gas.
Yeah, it's the nitrous oxide part of it.
Yeah. JMMA a pillow.
Yeah, I turned the bed into an octagon.
No, I remember like coming to in the middle of it, like, why am I hitting this so hard right now?
Okay, Phil saw it too. He did that look. He's like, hold up, what?
Well, because he didn't finish the
Yeah.
what happens after coming.
Yeah, I was like,
Wait,
wait,
what?
what?
Because you were like, oh, I was coming, and then I was coming too, and then we were like, oh, okay, that's the rest of the sentence.
That's a totally different medication.
Yeah, yeah.
Do they have a THC one for that too?
I mean, if you do that while after a gummy, then it feels different. I'll just tell you that.
Info for now says you'll be happy to lose, LOL. So
Yeah, basically.
we're already fine losing because we wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like why people smurf, especially because
Do you want to explain what smurfing is first?
Okay, so smurfing is using an alternate account on a game that has a lower rank than your actual
and something with a competitive mode.
Yeah, exactly. And Rocket League used to have a casual mode with a much looser skill gap allowed in it. But what they did such a stupid decision where they give you the same penalty for forfeiting or quitting a competitive match, but in casual. But it's like casual is just it's kind of like it used to be the mode where it resembled like pub stomping in CS way back in the day, where there was no skill based matchmaking. It was just like, you know what I mean? You go in and just mess around,
Just pick up games.
Exactly. And then they made it feel like competitive, and it was just like, it's literally called casual.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously, they made it free to play, which is just then, Smurfs are everywhere. And then it's actually been an interesting experience just kind of looking at it at like a stat thing, because I remember
Real quick, I'm texting my wife. Don't forget to leave out the happy gummies.
well, it was cracking us up that we kept running into more Smurfs in like the really low ranks. And I was telling one of my friends that I play Rocket League with, I was like, man, it would have sucked if we came up through gold and silver now. You know what I mean? Because we started playing Rocket League back in like 2016, where,
and I just started like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and you had to like buy the game. So like there was like that barrier of entry where, and like there wasn't really that stuff. But yeah, like we get in like a gold 3 match and people are freaking flying through the air and dribbling the ball. And we're just like, it's like, dude, like.
But I feel like smurfing, in the sense of we're talking about it, really kind of only exists to the degree it does in something like Rocket League.
Right.
Because of the fact that, one, it's either 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3. And so, like, let's think about Warships. Warships has a competitive mode, but it's usually like anywhere between 6 to 8 per team.
Yeah,
it's such
so
a
like
slow-paced game.
Yeah, your individual.
One really good player can't screw up the lobby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Rocket League is such a skill-based game. It's not like I have to know your car and its capabilities.
And I think an interesting thing about that is because, I mean, barring the fact that like people figured out how to get those neural net bots working to play for you online, like aside from that, there is no real way to hack a Rocket League game, because there's no decisions being made on the server besides the physical interactions of the objects in the game. And so like you can't just like have an aimbot, right?
Yeah.
Like you can affect the ball with like, mods and stuff, but yeah, you can't really hack in that game. So I think like maybe you don't see as much smurfing in other games, because they would just, if they really wanted to, like ego boost, then they would just cheat. Like they would just legitimately
so
go buy
that
some
was
hacks
kind of the
and then,
main point of the discussion right now, was not just like, should you, it's why do people smurf?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because there was a topic on the Rocket League subreddit recently where they were like, why do people smurf?
Well, we've seen it anytime I mention in one of my videos, like, oh, I'm feeling I will smurf.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, are you smurfing? All you're doing is like making it harder for people down there. We're like, first of all, the way you and I do it, we forfeit.
Yeah.
We'll go in there, just completely beat up on a team, and then try and leave before they forfeit, because we don't want them to take the MMR hit. So we will forfeit.
Yeah. Or sometimes like we'll do challenges like, oh, we'll just like unbind boost or unbind jump and then just try to win. You know what I mean? Against like,
or we'll play
like
only play defense.
Yeah.
We can't leave our box.
Yeah. And so not only that, it's like a lot of, I think honestly, half the fun of smurfing is finding other smurfs and then destroying them.
Yeah, because remember like that one game where we realized it was another Smurf team, and then we immediately all were fighting to own goal our own team.
It just got
because they started defending our goal, we started defending their goal.
It was like the weirdest, like just insane lobby.
So it turned into a legit match, just inverted colors.
Yeah. But I think part of it is like it's that lack of a more chill and non-sweaty mode than competitive.
Yes, because if
casual is basically just competitive again, and then people get just as angry.
The problem with competitive, it gives those people that are just competitive by nature a place to compete and have the quote unquote satisfaction of being like, I'm a higher rank or whatever. But the thing is, like, you reach a point to where your skill cap, unless you're RLCS, you're not going to make the cap.
Yeah.
Your skill cap is far below the cap.
That was actually a big discussion too when they introduced the SSL rank, which was above the old Grand Champ rank and stuff. And people were like the average player no longer gets the satisfaction of rising all the way to the top. Because like in pretty much most skill-based games like that, like COD or whatever, you level up to 50 and then prestige.
I want to
right?
address something that just was said in chat. So Mind Fortress says smurfing destroys the experience for new players. Even if you surrender, you still ruin their fun. We are not smurfing against new players.
Yeah.
You and I have chosen a rank to smurf at that is far beyond beginners.
It's honestly like.
Like middle.
Yeah, like the I think Plat 2 is like the actual average, like
Yeah.
the actual majority.
And you
of
and
the
I were
player
platting,
base.
or platting. You and I were no. You and I were smurfing around Plat 3, Diamond 1 for a while there.
Yeah, which is funny because that's not even that much lower behind my actual rank, which is Diamond 2.
No, but but one whole rank,
Yeah,
like Diamond 1 to Diamond 3 is a huge jump in.
Oh God, yeah.
But so
You
is
guys-
so is Plat 2 to Plat 3.
You're smurfing at my natural level.
Yeah, and that's another.
But the point is,
that's
we're
another
not-
reason. That's another valid reason to have a Smurf account is when you want to play. You want to
Yeah,
have
well,
some
yeah,
fun
so when we
with
play-
friends that are lower skill level. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know whenever I jump into Apex Legends with some of my friends, like they all sign in on their Smurfs because I'm garbage at Apex. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, when you can play even though.
So if we were in there like
like-
gatekeeping, like you're never gonna make it silver,
Yeah.
that'd be a different story. But I also, what I started to say earlier is we see people comment in the video like, "Hey, you're just making it hard for players to progress," and it's like, no, we're not. One, because we're not serving you a loss. We are taking the loss because we'll forfeit. But also, two, I'm of the mindset fully that when you play against people that are way better than you at something, unless you're just completely moronic, you will take something away from that match that maybe you didn't know, or you observed something, or you learned something from playing those people.
And there's been matches where we've seen that happen, like
Yeah.
live, where we've actually just let them natty win because like we've seen,
Yeah.
they start progressing, they start passing, and like
Because there's been
it's
times
cool.
we get the same team 3 times in a row, and by the third match, we're like, hey, look, they're learning.
Yeah.
And then
And obviously, like, I don't ever play at full unless it's an actual Smurf. I don't like.
sometimes I do, and you're like, bro, chill.
I mean, it is
It
funny.
usually starts with like, okay, remember, Phil, we have to lose. And Nick's like, haha, yeah, right. Because 30 seconds in, it's like, okay, we've already scored 3 times.
I'm just chilling on our side of the field, just like, and then I just see Jay flying today. And I'm like, okay.
But honestly, I think if you play at your Smurf level too long, you hurt your own skill. But those that you're better than, I feel like you help bring them up. I'm not one of those people that like want to win at a game all the time. Because that, to me, it
Gets
sucks.
boring.
Now, if I'm losing constantly, then I get equally as frustrated. But I feel like, honestly, if we didn't have this mindset of like, oh, you got to let them win, you're hard for them, then they're not going to learn anything. It's like participation award. But if you play against people that are consistently better than you, you yourself get better through osmosis.
I mean, like a good example was like I was the first person in our group of friends to have Xbox Live. So when I started playing Halo 2 online,
Oh yeah, you were progressing.
my skill level got significant to the point I was like, okay, I'll do 3v1, and I could still win against 3 of them.
It's like when I do like 5v1 in warships and I win.
yeah.
But it's just because I have a skill level in warships that is far beyond the average skill level.
Party with Artie just actually made the exact point is that he says skill-based matchmaking has ruined some like competitive games like Call of Duty. Every match is sweaty, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much the reason why me and Jay Smurf. And like it goes back to that post in Rocket League, which in the Rocket League subreddit, which I was like surprised that was one of the top answers. Was just like you're just tired of having to perform at your best every single match.
Yeah.
For something, you know what I mean? And it's just like obviously that's the mentality of that differs from person to person or whatever, whether or not you're in Smurf or not. But that is a valid thing because that's what skill-based matchmaking does. Just by design, that's exactly what it does.
It creates a ultra sweaty environment.
Yeah.
And now sweat, for those that don't understand, basically just describes a player that is a tryhard. All they do is play this game repetitively over and over and over and over and over to be the best.
Yeah.
And tryharding also is a toxic mentality of games.
I feel, I don't know, try hard to me, it's just like, okay, you're just embracing the meta. So you're using like every possible meta strat there is, or using the meta loadouts for whatever game.
But that's competitive, right? Just like in warships, there are certain ships in certain tiers that are known to have certain advantages. And of course, every advantage has a disadvantage to it. But if you become this cookie cutter layout or loadout because it's, like you said, the meta.
one, yeah.
That's why every now and then I'll see it, and I'm bring back to World of Warship. So I'll see a certain ship, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm a hard counter to this ship, and then they destroy me, and I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, I want to replay this, and I want to see what happened, and I want to look up their loadout, and I want to know like what did they discover, or how bad was I? You know what I mean?
Can you inspect like their skill tree loadouts too?
I mean, there are apps that will allow you to do that. I don't go through it and do it.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's just there's a 1,000 different ways to play a ship in World of Warships. But it's like Phil and I will notice it. Like we'll be playing a match, and even if we're Smurf, because the problem is there's so many Smurfs now, especially if we drop all the way down to like Gold 3, Plat 1. There's a lot of Smurfs in that rank, which is fun because we'll feel out
It's fun to Smurf the Smurfs.
well, we'll feel out the opponent the first minute, and then we'll notice like, oh, hey, they can't go up, they can't aerial save, they can't aerial shoot or whatever. So what do? We just start trying to pop the ball up as much as we can, just because it's fun for us at that point to be like, let's see how they handle this. Every now and then we'll find teams that can do stuff we can't do, and then we realize like, oh, we're being out Smurfed, and then that's when we try an own goal, and then they get all mad because they realize we're trying to boost their MMR.
It's like, yeah. People are like, oh, if you don't want to try hard, play casual. And okay, and like the problem with casual in Rocket
People
League,
try harder there.
well, not only that, the fact that it still has an MMR or ELO or rank
does.
or whatever you want to have, but it's invisible. The problem is when you get somebody that mostly plays casual in your party, then suddenly you have to play casual against all of those people that are up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's definitely been times where I've had to tell my friend, like, yo, let's just switch to comp because it's literally going to be easier. And it was.
Yeah.
But I was like, how is Diamond 3 comp like easier than your casual? And he's like, I play a lot of casual. And I'm like, at that point, your casual rank is harder than your ranked rank. And then
Yeah.
it's like,
That's probably me. In
I don't
Siege,
like that
'cause
system.
I do a lot of casual in Siege.
I feel like casual matchmaking in Rocket League should be an average of all the party members, not a super weighted average like it normally is to the highest member. Because it's something like 95, 2.5, 2.5, like rank wise with whoever's the highest rank in the party. And so that's why like basically you're always going to be playing people that are at whatever rank your highest member in your party is.
Right.
In either casual
And they
or
do
comp.
that because of carrying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like getting people that.
Yeah,
pay.
imagine you're playing in a group of friends of 3v3, and it just went off the lowest MMR, and you have somebody that just loaded up the game.
And then people, yeah, that's another thing that
They
trips
should
me out.
average it, in my opinion.
Like the fact that you can pay rank boosters is kind of interesting.
That
to
exists
me.
in any comp game, though.
Yeah, I know, but it trips
All the
me
way back
out.
to Halo.
And it's almost kind of like reverse smurfing because then once you get into a lobby,
Then you can't play.
yeah, once you're in a lobby at whatever boosted rank you are and you're not carrying your weight, everyone's gonna be really annoyed at you.
Yeah, because you'll pay someone to boost you. Boosting happens a lot in like World of Warcraft arena as well.
Oh, right.
So people will do the boosting and they'll pay for it because they want the rewards, like the gear, the titles, and all that sort of stuff. But then like after they get the boost, then they'll just literally try and play, and they can't. They're so far above their skill level. Like you said, all they're doing is hurting anyone else on their team, and then their own frustrations because they can't even.
because they just wanted to see the shiny champion rank or whatever, or GC or
gladiator,
whatever. Yeah.
gladiator, yeah. But still, it's,
Oh, right, yeah.
yeah. It's like that's why we have separate accounts when we're screwing around like this.
Yeah, and honestly, like the actual reason that I first made an alt account was because I wanted to play with friends that were lower ranked and not have them have to play at my level because that's super unfair for them. You know,
It's funny because the only reason why you and I even do it, and we talked about this before, is the fact that it's zero. There's zero expectation, zero stress. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. And the only thing you and I ever get mad at is like we're playing so bad, and we're
yeah, we're usually just mad at ourselves. Like
Yeah,
that's
we're
usually the rage part.
like
yeah.
like the other day when I'm just like I can't even tell which way's our goal. Like remember when you were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was shooting at us. You're like, I'm like, oh, I forgot which way we were going. I forgot what color we were. Because my problem is I set up my cars with such funky colors, I can't tell at a glance like what team we are.
Yeah, because the default team colors in Rocket League are blue and orange, but then you can pick green for I think blue team. And then it's just like, wait, I'm green. What team is?
But you can pick like a really like dark purple also for red team.
Yeah.
Which kind of almost looks like blue. So anyway, and
So
then
confusing.
But then if you pick the cars like the actual licensed cars and they have like a special livery for them that are the same no matter what color you are, that really kind of screws you up.
Yeah. Somebody said, yeah, like their friends also do the same thing where they have alt accounts and then they play so you don't have to play at their level. Yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to play Apex Legends at like the level that my friends play because they play like every day. And it's just like, you know, it's just like, yeah, it's not going to be fun. And
Oh
so,
man, I don't think I've ever been accosted like I have in League of Legends.
Oh God. I've never played it still.
I played it up to like level 10 or rank 10 or whatever it is.
I
Not very
filmed like
far,
a
but-
whole story to Road to LCS like series for Riot way back in the day, and like I still have never played.
Have you ever played League of Legends?
No,
I've never installed
played
it.
Heroes of the Storm though.
Is that another top-down MOBA
Yeah,
kind
it's
of game?
another MOBA by Blizzard. But that one was fun just because it was casual again. I didn't play ranked, but I had a friend who showed me the ropes on how to do MOBA, and I just played it like that. And he told me it's a lot less toxic than League.
The LCS major in LA was cool, the one that I, but it was like, but yeah, I find it ironic that like, yeah, I've literally like freaking been face to face with these like pro kids and stuff, and like seen the gaming houses and everything, and it's like I still have never installed it. It's just never. I don't know. I don't like that genre. So
I think one of the reasons why I like League of Legends or Rocket League so much.
Rocket League of Legends.
Rocket League of Supersonic Legends. What was the original name of the game?
Oh god, supersonic acrobatic rocket powered battle cars.
Yes.
You can see why people started just calling it SARP because it was just insane. Yeah.
So,
Rocket League is a much better name. Good job, Simon.
It's because I'm a huge hockey fan and I like cars. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense if it was like I'm a soccer fan, but no, I like hockey. So it's funny how much you noticed when I started just applying hockey tactics into the game, how different it is against normal strategies, but how much it worked for me. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah, and I remember it was because I had watched this Rocket League creator's video, and he was talking about how, like, his hot take was that Rocket League is not really soccer with cars; it's more like hockey with cars. Mm-hmm. And a big like sign of that was the throwback stadium because it has that area behind the net and everything. And it's actually more of a hockey stadium or hockey rink than
Yeah, because soccer is like Rocket League where there's nothing behind the net, obviously.
Yeah. But then I think they got rid of it because it leads to a lot more interesting passing plays and stuff like that where you can use the backboard.
Right.
But yeah, no, like I think my favorite thing about that game is the fact that it's just, I like that it's similar to the phrase of like it's a driver's race where like everyone has the same exact abilities available to them on the controller. It's just however you choose to combine
That's
them.
why we always joke around like, no, Barry's car's faster than mine.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just
everyone's
slow.
car is literally 60 miles an hour.
That's
It's
why
like,
I was
see.
saying, like, I don't have to know what my opponent's car is capable of. Like in warships, you have to know your enemy.
Yeah.
You have
But that's part of the game of warships.
But that's
is
what's
that
fun about
intel,
warships
yeah.
is you can load out ships differently. You can choose to like sometimes not have a radar and have, I don't know, torps or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know necessarily what that ship you're looking at, like, okay, what loadout do they have? Did they spec radar and then sudden bing, your radar pinged? You're like, okay, I am absolutely playing against a radar team right now. So it's it's just fun like that because you have to like figure it all out on the fly.
It's like that. That's probably why you were into WoW as much too. It's that like that data meta game.
Yeah,
that's also being played at the same time as the game.
Yeah, because there's every class in Warcraft has 3 trees. But even the way you go down that tree, either it's the meta like PvP tree, or you go some sort of hybrid or a one-off that some people just make work.
Yeah, and I like Rocket League because I see the ball and I hit it.
Yeah, that's literally all I do.
That's the meta. That's my meta is just see ball hit the ball, and that's why I'm forever diamond.
Is this the glow in dark stuff?
And the middle is the
middle
outside's clear.
So ever since you learned how to dual filament print, you've just been like going ham.
I mean, that was printed on 2 different machines though.
What?
People are already
You can do that?
Yeah.
people are already asking what time tonight's stream is, Jay.
I don't know yet.
It's gonna
Because
be like later in the evening, probably, right?
well, I got to find out. My daughter has a birthday party to go to this afternoon after the gym. So when we're home from that, but I don't know if I'm taking her or my wife is, but I can ask, what time am I allowed to play with my friends?
We want to ride bikes.
No. See, we have to.
No, wait. You ask her.
Yeah.
She'll tell me no.
Yeah. So Phil has to do it.
No, I broke,
Wait,
the window last week.
Can I spend the night? No. Wait, you ask because my mom will tell me no.
Oh my god, original.
Speaking of broken window, like I walked out to the great room today this morning when I got up, and there was a baseball sitting in the middle of my backyard. I'm like, we don't have a baseball. I started looking at all my windows. I'm like, okay, everything's good. It probably came over sideways, but yeah. All right. Well,
That's funny.
I just thought we'd address that topic because I've seen people like get mad at us for the fact that we will smurf, but it's like I think that's just it depends on why are you smurfing and what kind of smurf are you being? Like we usually, you and I don't get toxic. We'll give like nice shot and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Until they.
No, how many times have you been like, oh dude, like hell yeah, he got the save. I'm proud of him. Like I always talk like
But
that.
the first time we make a mistake and they'll like want to save us, we're like, go for blood. We are going for blood. Yeah. Like immediately.
Yeah, it's just match the energy, basically.
Comebackable.
I feel like I'm getting guilt tripped right now. Hold on.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, she was like, I'll just stay with her at the party. You can just stay home and play. I was like, I read that as, no, I'll take her to the party. You can just stay home and play.
That's one of those situations. Like, yeah, go have fun.
Knowing,
when in fact you do not go and have fun.
knowing my wife, did I break it right now?
No, it comes in two. It's two different pieces.
Yeah, baby.
Oh.
Sorry. So, knowing my wife, she was probably like, no, I'll go. Knowing my wife, she's probably like, no, I'll go. You can stay home and play. But I hear, no. It's fine.
Fine.
I just think it's funny when. Or it's it's the what's wrong? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, I just think it's funny when. Oh God, it's like it's like that Tony Stark meme. I know she's not watching right now, right?
It's a trap.
Wait, are you watching the show? Question mark. I'm scared now.
Still, also one of my favorite things to do if I'm just solo smurfing is like try to bring a team up by only letting them score the goals, like your teammates.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I will just be the absolute best support player as I can. You know, and just pass as many times as it takes for them to.
But like
score.
I said, once they were to save us one time, that's it. The claws are coming out.
No, but it's funny watching them learn. Like, oh, you can pass it. You can see that like the brain like neurons getting rewritten as you play is cool.
Our favorite thing to do is you and I do nothing but drive up to them when the ball's in the corner and watching them freak out and we have not moved.
And honestly, like I wish like people did that to me when I was in goal, because then I would have realized like, oh yeah, duh, you can just also be calm. But it's like when. Like, yeah, when you're first starting Rocket League, it's like if any card gets within 50 feet of you, you're like, oh, I'm scared.
How many times have you heard me say in our Smurf matches, I'm like, okay, slow down, Jay. So I'm like flipping everywhere and I'm missing because I'm going at a pace that I think they should be going and they're not.
I've always heard a lot of the Rocket League creators that I watch like use the term monkeying. I use crackheading just because of the crackhead of the crackhead award that we
crackhead of the crackhead of the award.
Yeah, from the React series that you're doing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
when you're just at like completely chasing the ball and ignoring any sense of like tactics or anything.
All right, so I think in sort of like a, I don't know, homage to the whole Rocket League weed gaming tonight, I came up with sort of like a high thoughts with Jay.
Ideas
with Jay.
Instead of shower thoughts, yeah.
Although I was perfectly sober when I wrote this. Okay, if you could be doing anything you want as a career, not including this one, not that I think this would be the answer, what would you do and why? And what would fuel your choices?
That's a tough question because I don't really think about that because.
But I mean, as a kid, did you have like I want to be this when I grow up? Like
it was obviously astronaut or fighter pilot, but that's.
And, no, you could have worked for Space Force and been a starfighter.
I could have been a guardian. It's like all of Space Force played Destiny.
Guardians of the solar system.
They played Destiny and they were all Marvel fans. Like I can't believe that's the actual term for it because it's like an army. Wait, what's an army person? Just a soldier.
A soldier.
Right? A soldier, right? Okay, and then like
what's an army person?
Well, a Navy person is a sailor, and then a Space Force person is literally a guardian.
Space Ranger.
Don't forget, E1 sailors. E1 sailors are seamen. Oh my god. Seamen and women.
Well, I wanted to be a video game designer for a little bit, but that was
what changed your mind.
The parents. You need to get a real job, not a fun
job.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. There are games that have made hundreds of millions of dollars, and
I know.
It's not a real job.
I know.
If that's not a real job, you still don't have a real job.
Yeah.
Okay.
The funny thing is like if that had gone true, you probably would have gotten burnt out so fast.
Probably.
Because like did that the
Because,
game, the
like-
game dev industry, unless you're like an indie house, is
The last 10 years have been terrible for studios.
yeah. Like,
Because
I
of the
feel
fact
so
that
bad
because
for,
the
like-
studios are all under the thumb of the publisher. And honestly, it's really just like the EAs and the Blizzard Entertainments and whatnot that are just completely like, no, we're funding this. You need to do it our way, rather than like publishers.
Just here's the money for it. Just
Yeah, rather
deliver.
than saying, hey, you guys, we like what you do. Here's money to keep doing what you do. It's like, hey, we like what you do. We're going to give you money. Now you're going to do what we want you to do. And we're
Yeah.
going to completely screw it up. And then we're going to blame you guys. That's literally how like every EA launch has gone for the most part in the last like 10 years. It's so just infuriating to see a publisher completely destroy a studio.
single-handedly.
Yeah. And then publicly play it all off like it's the studio's problems.
Yeah, that's the worst part, right? Like that, it's just like you get these like insane, like not nonsensical, but it's like the upper management doesn't consider like what the devs want. You know what I mean? They make these decisions just completely.
They make money-making decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I mean, be fair,
And the thing
it's
is,
their
like,
job. but
I
still.
feel like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 2, these were
Those are
money-making
solid.
games.
Yeah.
They were money-making games that didn't have politics involved in how the game was developed. You know?
Okay, so after Battlefield Hardline, did anyone else feel like this is going downhill?
I thought Hardline was the
Yeah, like
yeah.
when
No, Hardline was like, oh, we're already rolling down the hill.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't just because
Hardline should have just been a Battlefield 3 mod, not a title.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
like or an expansion or whatever. Like how
Right.
they added like the night vision stuff in Battlefield 2. Like that was an
Yeah.
expansion.
that
right?
was a really dope expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they gave you
I know.
like
I never got to play it because I couldn't convince my mom to buy it for me because I was.
I did.
Yeah.
I still have the CDs.
$30
like,
or whatever.
I still have the CDs. I'll bring it over. You could load it up and play it.
I still have mine out there.
Yeah.
well, we'll just we got to build a retro Windows XP. We're trying. I mean, my dream for the retro series on this channel is like to have a gaming PC of every kind of era.
Oh.
And so I think Battlefield 2 would be a dope game to revive on like the
Because you
Windows
could play
XP.
the full-on multiplayer maps with bots.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of bots. And just camp with a sniper rifle and get your skill-based stuff.
You
back
should do
down.
like a that'd be an insane retro like stream opportunity. Like if we could fill somehow a Battlefield 2 server again, just to reminisce how it used to be.
Well, the problem is all
64
those servers
players,
are
right?
offline.
I know. Wait,
I'm
didn't
pretty sure. I'm
had
pretty sure the
dedicated
GameSpy
back then, right?
stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a dedicated one
back-
because they moved
I
it
don't
off.
Remember?
So is it just like one?
I'm not
No,
sure.
you were like somebody would run it. Like we would just run it here.
Oh.
Like the server or whatever. But I'm like, I don't remember if Battlefield 2 was like. It was around the time where all the games started switching to away from that dedicated
yeah.
server, player run server type stuff, which was really kind of like it was cool, but it was.
Well, time to Google later.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole tonight.
Oh God! Somebody asked what Jay's thoughts on the NFT game concept is.
What?
There's an NFT game?
There's so many of them. That's actually a YouTube rabbit hole that I've been down where it's just like these people that just dissect how absolutely garbage they all are, and or scams.
There's absolutely no way I would ever care about any. I would not look.
I don't-
the
I
time.
also- yeah.
I don't care if I was taking a constipated dump. I would never, even during that part of my boredom, look up an NFT anything.
Yeah. And it's also just like, why would I want to invest my own money into a video game? It's like, I mean, like besides obviously buying the game, right? But like to play a multiplayer game, like it's kind of like those free to play games on mobile where they're really predatory and like you have to keep paying coins or whatever to keep playing, right? But like,
No.
it's like I don't want to invest real money into something that's supposed to be a stress relief thing. And not only that, invest real money and then lose it instantly to the freaking the group or whatever. It's just I don't know. And it doesn't. It's anything. Anytime I hear the term NFT, it's a solution in search of a problem, and that's like the thing that just keeps coming back to me every time. I'm just like there is nothing in gaming that would be made better with an NFT.
No.
And like
No, it's just a money grab opportunity.
and a lot of
The funny thing about NFTs and cryptocurrency and all that, and blockchain supposedly being decentralized, is the fact that the people up top right now in those industries are making all the money. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's just like a pyramid
off of
scheme,
everyone
right?
else.
It's whoever gets in on the ground floor.
Right.
is-
I got an email from a company the other day that was like promising me that I could make hundreds of millions of dollars if I invested in their blah 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 right now. And I usually just trash emails I'm not interested in from companies I'm not interested in. I don't even have the time to reply to them if I'm not interested. It's just, look, if I didn't respond to you and you write me 5 emails and I still haven't responded to you, take a hint. Those are the ones I will actually like write back like how stupid they are. Like I'll actually tell them how just completely dumb everything about what they're asking from me is. And I basically have a copy and paste at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I have no remorse with those people that have gone all in with that. I don't feel bad whatsoever.
And I think the biggest problem with, like, to keep answering this guy's question, the biggest problem with NFT games is that almost all NFT game developers are not actually gamers themselves. They're crypto bros. So like, the game is never going to be fun because you don't have a person that
what
actually
was
wants to...
What was the esports team that got all jacked up with it? Was it FaZe?
I think it was FaZe. I think they did something with... I just know that their public stock is like garbage now because it like dropped or whatever. But I think it was.
And that's
FaZe.
another thing with smurfing, by the way. If Phil and I see anyone with a FaZe clan, we immediately destroy.
That's my one guilty pleasure.
We see it. We always look at the names and we're like, hey, oh, destroy.
That's the equivalent of having like a burner Instagram account. That way you could just trash talk everyone who has their names on the side of their car.
Yeah.
Like, your car's stupid. You drive dumb.
Yeah. And so it basically, Phil and I, when we see that, it is just like, and the irony is, usually it's the one with like the FaZe blah, blah, blah everywhere all over their name. It's like the worst player in the lobby.
They usually are.
And they're almost always talking the most like crap.
It carries over across games too because it's frequent in Call of Duty as well.
I think, because I think, what game did they even get big in originally? Was it Halo or something? I feel like it was something as stereotypical as Halo.
Didn't FaZe get really big in
or Counter-Strike maybe?
No, COD.
Oh yeah, probably. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was COD.
Considering like their fan base and everything and their
like
vibe,
the original Modern Warfare 2. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was COD. And then there was Modern Warfare 2, and then what was the other one? Black Ops. Yeah.
it was all the Mountain Dew and all the Doritos at the time.
Yeah. Well, the other half of my question. I didn't answer mine yet. So yours was you want to be a video game developer.
Yeah.
Which doesn't
like a level designer.
That's not like all that super far fetched. You know, as a like you could still technically probably do that.
I feel like I would want to be involved somewhere in the aerospace industry for sure. Like, if not, I mean, okay, if I could do anything and I could get rid of like all my actual physical
like no,
issues.
you're like I want to do this. I just Matrix downloaded everything I need to know to do this.
Right,
like,
and Matrix downloaded a new heart so that I could survive G-forces. Yeah, I would absolutely love to be a fighter pilot because there's just something about like flying to me that is just it's intrinsically satisfying.
What era then? Because dogfighting's over as far as we know it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Maybe that
honestly,
F-14 era, the 60s,
I would.
60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah, F-14 era, or I mean, I think.
Well, the F-14 I guess was developed in the 60s, but it really didn't start like till late 70s, 80s. Because in the 60s, we were still doing like F4s and stuff like that.
Definitely the jet era for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be able to decide between the F-14 or an F-22 to fly because they're both. I mean, obviously the F-22.
You have to do the falling leaf maneuver.
Yeah. Obviously the F-22.
Oh wait, that's the 5th gen fighter. I like how they wouldn't call it by name, the SU-27.
It, yeah, because they didn't want to call it an SU-57.
Oh, 57 is right.
Yeah.
A felon.
Yeah, I think that's a dope call sign though.
An F-14 versus 5th gen fighters? Are you crazy?
It's like wait, how come we keep giving like the Russian jets the cooler names? Like the
MiG-29.
Convict. Well, no, yeah, the MiG-29 was the Fulcrum. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
The 27 was the Flanker. Like that's dope. I only remember the Flanker because that was the first like combat flight sim I ever played way back in the day. But yeah, like.
Wasn't the 27 the one that we saw on the
it was the original one that first did the Cobra.
Did it on the aircraft carrier?
Oh yeah.
Because it missed the tail hook.
Yeah, and he freaking accidentally Cobra'd the dude.
Yeah.
Like the deck was all getting ripped up by the afterburners. But yeah, I don't know. Because for me, it's mostly about. It's not even really about the combat. It's just the machine and the flight that's the most interesting to me, and the most like I keep saying intrinsically satisfying. But yeah, like even just when I'm flying in VR and stuff like that, you know,
you should have just been either a YouTube spy plane pilot or an SR-71 because then you're in space basically and you're a fighter pilot.
Dude, U2 pilot is the most stressful job though because the difference between your stall speed and your overspeed is 15 it's like 15 knots.
Oh jeez.
You have to imagine having to do that for the entire like hour that you're up there filming. You're just like with the throttle, like you have a 15 knot window.
I'm surprised that's
yeah.
not electronically controlled.
I know.
Intelligently.
It might be, yeah.
But
It might
then
be now,
again,
but
who
yeah.
knows when it was developed, right?
That still blows my mind, but it's just because the air is so thin up there that
Yeah.
you're going fast, but there's no air.
I wanted to be a DP. And that's not the sexual term. Like I wanted to be a director of photography. I wanted to work
The
in
UK
movies.
uses DOP for that reason. but yeah.
DOP. I want to be a
director of photography.
I want to be a director of photography. That's the guy that's in movie productions. That's in charge of all the camera equipment, all of the choreography amongst camera operators and focus pullers and all that sort of stuff, and lighting.
And you're really good at lighting.
So the director in movies is in charge of the actors and the scene. The DOP is in charge of like all of the true,
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people would think that I would be the DP in like our production house, but no, it's really you.
Yeah.
I'm just a cam op, honestly, because it's like there's a lot of times where I will defer to Jay's judgment because his ideas are better than mine significantly with when it comes to lighting and or shot selection. So.
Except for the B-rolls, that's all you, like the montages.
Yeah.
It used to be
flail
me, like, and you, and then now it's just you, which is fine.
You're just like, oh, I just won't play Rocket League.
All right. Look, when I in my videos when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let Phil do his thing. I'm literally like, okay, Phil, the rest of this is yours. I'm not even in the room.
He goes, buddy, I just hear like click, click, click. I was like, oh, he's playing Warships.
Oh no, Warships. Yeah, I thought you were doing Rocket League. Fair wins.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, coming back to like the fighter pilot thingy, like it's like when half the fun of learning the DCS F-14 was all the weird quirks and crappiness of that plane. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I was like, oh, I can't pull 7Gs because I just eject on my wings. I guess that makes sense because this thing was built in the 70s.
It's me and DCS every time I overload the wing.
Dude, yeah, the F-14 is the most fragile wings ever. But it makes sense because if you look at it, like
It's hinged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the wings don't carry any weight. Like
Yeah.
it's all the body. So
The body itself is a very wing design.
it's a lifting body. I think it's the same with like the F-15 or whatever too. Those like wide
So
not to fat shame the planes, but super wide
they were
body
big.
girls.
They were big.
Yeah.
So the second half of my question though, it's like kind of a two-parter, not really related to the first, but would you be happy making barely enough money to make it by, but feel full fulfillment with your job? Or would you rather be doing something doesn't make you happy, but you have a lifetime worth of unlimited income?
See, so before you slightly tweaked the question, it was funny because you were like, if it would make you less happy, but you would have a lifetime worth of unlimited income. And then obviously that makes the question really easy because it would just be that.
If there's any form of happiness there, then you can lean in on that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just like, I am miserable at my job, but I have unlimited disposable income,
I feel like I would still pick the first option.
the barely making it by,
Because like,
my eyes started twitching at that thought.
I guess, I don't know.
Because I've lived that life and I don't want to go back.
But did you like your job?
No.
So
I was barely making it by and hated my job.
You don't have the feel full fulfillment part.
No.
You have no fulfillment. Yeah, if my job was fulfilling, then I'd probably pick the first one.
The thing was, with my old career in software, I liked my job a lot in the beginning. As I moved up the ladder, I liked my job less every time I went up a rung, if that makes sense. Because what happens in any corporation, the farther up you go the ladder, the more politics there are at the top of the ladder. So it just sucks.
Okay, I guess the weird thing about the unlimited income thing is that, like, can you retire? Can you ever
No,
retire?
like you would have to. You can't be like, I worked the day, I have unlimited income. I'm now retired with unlimited income.
You have to retire at like
no, you have to
65
have NFTs for that.
Oh, God.
Oh god.
I mean, the way those blockchain companies sell it.
That's tough. Like, because you're not happy at the job, but outside the job, you're gonna be happy because
You're right.
Yeah,
That is a tough question.
I can tell you right now, I will probably work until the day I die, whatever age that is, because I cannot sit at. Look, I took a day
it's our
off.
ADHD.
What was it? I was a couple weeks ago. I took a sick day. Right. I was so bored. I was like, this is just one day of this crap. And I'm having surgery in May, so when I'm recovering from that, that's gonna suck because I'm gonna be out a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck am I going to do? I'm going to have my laptop and Rocket League and you're going to get text messages, bleep, Rocket League, question mark. You're like, no, I'm trying to work.
It's
trying to get fulfillment.
I'm gonna sign into Steam and then it'll just be like Jay's on a Steam Deck suddenly. It's like, oh, I guess that makes sense.
I didn't know he had a Steam Deck.
He does now.
Are you gonna get one? That sounds interesting.
I have no interest in the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I did order a Vive
can't see-
XR, or not Vive XR, but
XR Elite.
HTC Vive XR.
XR Elite,
XR Elite, is that what it's called?
the newest one, yeah.
Okay, whatever is still like I'm waiting for my order to be fulfilled because I was pre-order on that.
I'm so excited to mess around with
I only
that
got that so that we can compare it to the Quest Pro, you know. But yeah, I bought that and I'm just waiting for it to ship. But no, I don't have any handhelds except for my Switch, which I barely play. Like when we go on trips, if I'm on an airplane, I might play it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I get bored after like 30 minutes of a handheld. I don't know what it is.
I think that's the interesting thing about the Steam Deck was that like I found it nice in that I could play a single player game and then just sleep it, you know, toss on the table, go finish cooking or whatever.
And it's right where you left off.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that.
The problem is I go so far between, I turn it on, I'm like, what was I doing?
Where was I? You gotta leave this little sticky note, like just remind yourself where you were.
It's an arrow that way.
But it's like I don't know. It's cool to me in that you can do that sort of like Switch like use case scenario, but with all the PC games that you normally play. You know what I mean? Like I did that a lot actually with Elite. Like if I would be cooking and I didn't like, I would just throw it on the Steam Deck and then I'll be traveling or whatever in it, and then I can just put it down and have it be really accessible instead of like a computer that I have to go run all the way to. You know what I mean? To go do stuff and then come back and stuff. So it's like super cool. And also the fact that yes, I have played Elite in a car ride over 5G, and it's like for a game like that, it's fine because you know you're only transacting just like the money stuff and like the rank and all that sort of stuff. It's not actual, you know, like real time combat much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I dig my Steam Deck. F-16, who remembers that game? Dude, Fighting Falcon, like freaking, what was it? Like
Jane's
Jane's
F-15.
Combat Sims? Yeah.
Yeah, I had Jane's.
Oh yeah, Jane's. Yeah. Did you answer the question? Would you go fulfillment or money?
I'd probably just do the money. Like,
Yeah, real talk.
honestly.
Yeah.
Phil's like, or not Phil. Nick's like, that's the secret. I'm never fulfilled.
Yeah. I hate all of my jobs. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I guess it depends on how unhappy I would be at that job.
There's a difference of like you can be. I feel like you can be unfulfilled but content. I think that's possible.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people in chat right now probably are in that spot.
If it was that job, then yes, then obviously unlimited income.
He can be like, look, I'm okay with what I'm doing. I'm not miserable, but I'm not feeling like I'm leaving my mark on the world. You know, I'm fulfilled. I think a lot of people are in that exact spot. I think to a degree I'm in that, and I'm in that spot to a degree.
I feel like that's a good spot. I mean, it's not great. It's obviously not the best, but yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting. It's tough to decide. I guess it really just depends on how much I hate that job.
I'm just taking the money. I'm taking the money.
I mean, is it going to be like was it Office Space? Like, just like
you know what? I mean, there's ends meet to be made, and I have a family, so I'm like, hey, if me being miserable and unfulfilled means
that changes it. The fact
that my kids at least have a nest egg and maybe an annuity,
infinite nest egg.
Then fine.
Hitting motherload in The Sims.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing.
I think
it's fulfilling in that aspect though.
Yeah.
Well, but when I play Sims, like, or any game that is money based, where you have to have money or currency to unlock things, I will play it and play it and play it to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just done grinding. I'll cheat, get the money, and then stop playing. Because there's no more
grind for it.
Yes, there's no more forward momentum in that game anymore. Mm-hmm. So like my daughter plays Sims and she motherloads hundreds of millions of dollars to herself and then just builds full on cities. But to her, that's the game and she's fine with that.
Right.
Yeah, I did that.
I don't want to watch a sim develop and have kids and set fires in the kitchen. I live that life. Okay. I don't want to have, it's like Second Life in the office. Okay. I don't want another virtual life.
I'm just in it to build the cool houses and stuff.
Okay. Look, one of the only times I've ever played Sims and like actually tried to create my sim and take him on a career path and bring him happiness, excuse my language, that fucker died in a pool because I forgot to put a ladder on it. Okay? And so he just swam around until he got tired and bloop. And then
What do you mean you forget? I do that intentionally.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's one of my favorite
I built the pool.
methods.
I built the pool. And the thing is, like, I forgot to put the little stairs. And he goes up to the pool and is just like, sploosh, and dives in. And it's like, he's all waving his arms. And I'm like, what's happening? And then he's like, and he goes down.
Pool with no ladder and room full of ovens with
no doors.
Yeah, with no doors are like my two favorite. That
Phil?
sounds horrible.
I'm going to get a sponsorship with BetterHelp. And I'm going to make you do it, okay? Because who hurt you?
I'm
so glad you asked.
No, I actually am glad that you asked because it actually goes back to your question. Well, what I was going to say before we got like sidetracked on The Sims is that I think the reason that it's such a hard decision for me is that my job that I had before this place, like, for lack of a better term, fucked me up mentally for years. Like, I had self-esteem issues and just like, I won't even say
there was toxicity. Sure.
There was a significant amount of toxicity, and I won't even say that I'm 100% even now. And that was like I started here 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and so like it like that sort of stuff. That's why when you say like when you said that, oh, it's a comfortable job, but you don't feel fulfilled versus a job like that. It's like, even for infinite money, I probably wouldn't go back there.
Yeah.
Because that's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's not worth it if I'm just going to get driven
especially if you're still carrying any of that trauma now.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, because obviously like mental health is like a huge thing. And so, yeah, that's why I was thinking about it, where I was like, yeah, I mean, I would probably take less money for a job where I didn't have to deal with that.
Like, if a genie popped up right now and said, I'll give you $10 million to go relive middle school, would you? No.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, no.
Because I didn't start fighting back until like high school. So
I never could.
actually, it was like the end of the year, 8th grade.
I tried, and then I got stuffed in a locker and a trash can and stuff.
Ugh.
Actually, the worst was like they threw all my stuff in a dumpster once, and then like I literally couldn't climb over the thing to go get it back. Anyway, yeah. Who hurt me? There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
you should, no, the answer is life.
Yeah,
That's just the answer.
Mm-hmm. But I'm still here, so that's winning.
We made it.
Wait.
Somebody said
We did it.
Wait, Mrs. JayzTwoCents is in here?
Yeah, I had asked her if she was
You
in
said
chat.
yeah.
No, it's because she missed the parts where I might have gotten myself in trouble, so we're fine
Yeah,
because
we're
she
good, we're
wasn't
good.
listening then.
Oh no, it's
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like super bad. Like, oh no, it's a cop.
Yeah, oh no.
I forgot for a minute what it was I said that would get me in trouble, but I suddenly remembered.
Oh.
I actually forgot it
And
already.
then Dummy almost repeated it.
So, anyways, as far as like sustainability goes, how do you feel about crossovers as coming into like? Well, I don't know. This is more of a rant. I got really angry at Microsoft because they introduced their sustainable controller with 33% of it's made out of recycled material, but they're charging you what, $20 more.
It's $85 controller instead of a $60 controller.
And the sticks are probably going to break as often as the button.
Yeah, the bumper is going to get
triggers.
stuck just as much as another bumper.
If Microsoft really wanted to reduce waste, then they would make that recyclable
one
controller.
that didn't have to be thrown away as often.
Yeah, or even
All right, can you get it?
tech issues. Sorry, OBS.
It should be back up in a sec here. I think it should be back up now. It says we're good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I see all the F's in chat right now.
Yeah.
It'll be delayed.
Are we caught up?
Okay.
No, it was a random like OBS is disconnected, but we're
yeah,
back.
that was weird.
We're back.
I think we're good, right?
Where do we leave off from?
Everyone needs to hit F5.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I've had literal sand in my joysticks, and even then, like the tracking was still impeccable because it's a hall sensor.
Yeah.
It's not a physical pot.
Yeah.
But
A
like,
hall sensor's magnetic, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and honestly, all the good like flight sticks and stuff use them too. So I mean, like the full size like sim rig stuff.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, they're never gonna do that because why? When they can charge you $85 a controller every like 3 months.
Yeah, because one of
Every
your
3
biggest
months, whenever I break my e-brake button in Rocket League.
That and was it the Elite controllers?
Yeah.
$100, and then yeah,
It breaks just as fast.
100. I think it was like $200 for the kit for a Elite controller.
I thought it was like 200.
Yeah,
I don't know. I never got one.
Yeah.
At the rate I break them, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want
Actually,
it.
I have not broken a controller in well over a year.
Same.
Oh.
I've only broken that one.
And then I was so afraid to laugh at you, but I wanted to laugh so hard because
it was ridiculous.
You kept getting madder at the fact that it wasn't breaking as much as you wanted it to.
So an 8-bit SN30 Pro can apparently survive a stomping by a person. So
And a chucking. You chucked it like straight down at the floor and it plinkoed around this room.
dude, when I went outside and I chucked it into the dumpster, like I saw it bounce back up and it was still in my
Yeah.
face. I'm like,
And then didn't it
It's
bounce
just
back and hit
taunting
you
at that
once?
point.
no, that was when I super had rage issues, and then I broke a guitar, and then the string whipped back and cut my head open.
Oh.
And then I started laughing because it's those moments
I'm
where you
only
realize,
laughing
like,
because
yeah.
I was restringing you a guitar the other day.
Oh,
So I bought my daughter for her birthday a new Guild guitar that she got to pick out, right? And we both agreed the strings on it were terrible. They were super grippy, and she likes elixirs like mine. So I told her, I was like, I'll restring it for you. It's easy. So I'm sitting on the bed and I'm restringing it, and I measured the lengths and I do my winds and all that stuff. And they got the pegs, right? You got to put the peg in and get it slack pulled out, get it wound and get it going. And it was funny because one time I had the guitar turned and my wife's sitting next to me, and I was like, I was like, probably shouldn't turn that towards her. And I turned the guitar and it went, bang! The peg flew out and the string went whack between us. And then the peg hit the ceiling and came flying straight down next to her. She was like, ah. And I was like, I'm so glad I turned this guitar.
Yeah.
Because the peg, I don't think I had it all the way wedged. So as I was tightening it, it was like lifting the peg out and then just bang. It was the funniest sound though, because it was like boing,
like a cartoon
boing,
sound, yeah.
boing, 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 boing. And then to hear the freaking peg just going against the ceiling and the bed and the wall, and I'm glad it landed like right next to us.
I'm so glad I've never had a string break on the cello yet, because that's also scary.
So follow up to that controller question: would you pay that price if the whole thing was recycled? Like, would you be okay with it rather than just having a third of it being recycled?
What do you mean, the guitar?
No, the controller. Sorry.
He went back to his topic.
Ask your question again.
Would you pay $85
Would
for
you pay
a controller?
$85 for the controller if the whole thing was made out of recycled plastics versus just 33% of it?
Unpopular opinion, I don't care about something's recycled properties. I don't care about how much of it is reusable. I don't care how much of it's sustainable. I don't care about how much of it isn't petroleum based. I don't care about that stuff. You know why? The software company that I worked for worked specifically in the energy conservation sector of private sector. Our clients were major energy suppliers. And I can tell you right now, the amount of stuff you see publicly about energy conservation and the amount of stuff they actually care about within the organizations is bupkis. They do not care.
I've also
So I was basically desensitized to the idea of sustainability and clean when I saw the way the power companies actually operate at an executive level. They don't care. They do not care.
Remember the whole big push of recycling and all the the advertisements and stuff when we were growing up?
Yeah. Or
That
drink
was
milk.
that was corpos pushing that idea on us, as if it was our fault that the recycling thing had to matter, because it's like the amount of change that you can make as an individual, even if you just went fully recycled everything, is negligible compared to a change that a company could make, like that. And that's the problem, is that it shouldn't be on us. You know what I mean? Because it should be on the people with significantly more power in that area.
To pull.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Because it's just
Well, here's the thing. I've seen
who cares about a 33% recycled controller when a factory in China somewhere is just completely degaffing
While
the
making that controller.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just I don't know.
Yeah, and that's not a hot take, and a lot of people probably just got triggered by what I said, but I had the unique position of seeing it from both sides.
Yeah.
I got to see the literature and the software that we were writing for these companies that was saying one thing, and then what was actually happening behind the scenes was completely 180 from any of that. And the amount of waste was absolutely insane. The amount of intent to earn and create profit off of sustainability was beyond what I could comprehend at that point. That's why I completely went from feeling like this is a pretty awesome job to, and I'm making a difference, to what I said, the farther up you go and the more you see the politics are, the more you realize I'm not creating change anywhere.
Yeah. And I feel if the company wanted to make that a point, then it wouldn't be a choice like Nick said.
Someone
You know
said,
what I mean?
doesn't Jay have a solar enabled house? So I have a less bill. It is a
Selfish,
100%
yeah.
selfish reason. The ROI and the incentives I receive to put 28 panels on my roof means payback in less than 5 years, which means my energy bill right now. Well, look, I've done this a million times on stream, and I've said this 100 times. My energy that I create on my solar panels is absolutely for my benefit. And I'm sorry if that triggers you, but you know what? I'm still offsetting some carbon to some degree, right? Anyway, if I go ahead and look up my current Edison bill,
Yeah, while you're looking that up, like I was gonna say to Nick, like the fact that you can buy a non-recycled controller and a recycled controller it feels iffy to me. You know what I mean? Because it's like when Apple makes a sustainability change, they just announce it on stage, but there's no like, oh, I can get an iPhone or I can get an iPhone with 100% recycled aluminum. It's just like, no, they just make that policy change across the board, and then it just is a side
happens.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, and by the way, hey, we're recycling more stuff. It's like, cool. But like,
versus like, hey, we're still gonna give you this.
why would
but
you make it on the
here's one of
customer?
these.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like I feel like it shouldn't be on the customer to have to make that decision. It's just
So-
like if you want to be a more recycled company, then just recycle more.
So at my house, I have 2 pool pumps. I have, the water features in the backyard. I have 2 AC units that we leave set to like 71 degrees at all times. I have kids that don't know how to turn off a freaking light to save their life. They
At
are
least with LEDs, it's not as
they
bad
are
anymore.
constantly on their gaming computers gaming, and it takes at least 500 watts under load for a gaming computer. 2 of them probably at 1,000 watts, 5 to 6 hours plus a day. TV's on, all that. What's my last bill?
Well, it starts with a minus sign, which is already hilarious. 86 minus 86.72.
Yeah. So
You've hacked the
Edison
system.
owes me money, and they continue to owe me money. I haven't paid a bill in the last 16 months or so. So yeah, and I got to. There's a tax incentive. I got to write off a certain portion of the solar panels. So anyway, yeah, no, but what do I care about? Things like water conservation where we are, because that is a very important resource for us. And I've seen how, like, based on where you are, a person's mindset towards that, because it's entirely based on your ecosystem and where you live. So here we're like mindful of like, hey, water conservation is kind of important. You go to the Pacific Northwest, they degaff water usage.
Yeah, because it's falling out of the sky for 60 days in a row.
Yeah, they degaff waters, or you go any place that has a lot of snowpack, right?
Yeah.
It's completely different. But you go to a place that doesn't have a lot of sun, are they going to be putting solar panels all over their roof, paying, $35,000 to put solar panels on the roof? No, because they'll never make the money back.
Yeah.
So what do they have a lot of? Hydro dams and crap up there.
Which
So,
is also clean energy. So it's dope.
like wind farms and all that. I think that's great. I just also think, like, with the amount of EV production and where we're looking at, like, the state of California alone, I think we're looking at, and that's another reason why I have so many solar panels and stuff, is I think we're looking at some serious shortages of energy by the year 2035, when there's that mandate of all new vehicles being sold have to be EV,
It's
because
going to be an interesting
we get flex alerts every time it's a 95-degree plus day on, don't turn on your AC because the power's going to turn off. What happens when you have 55 million cars that are plugged in?
Yeah. They
So-
better not be charging during the day. I want to address a couple things in chat. Somebody said it's about grandstanding, which was like the company like making themselves look good by doing the recycled thing. And that's why I brought up Apple
What's
versus
expected.
Microsoft, is that like Microsoft is grandstanding with this controller, right?
Yeah.
But they still give you the option to not get it. So it's kind of like they have that out of like, well, they chose to buy the not recycled one, and that.
So they're
and
making
we
it
can-
the consumer's
Yeah,
problem.
exactly. Whereas Apple just makes a choice, and then like it just becomes a part of the thing that you're buying that year or whatever. But yeah. And then somebody else said, I don't want a recycled controller. I want a controller that I can fix, and that's exactly the solution.
Yeah.
Because you want to recycle more.
That's recycling,
Don't-
technically.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even let it get past that first step.
It should
of-
be reduce, reuse, recycle, repair. It should be a third R.
Yeah, and I
honestly.
think repair should be repair is part of the reuse.
repair should be first.
Yeah.
That should be the first step.
Yep.
Rather than creating waste.
But it'll never happen because obviously it's a razor blade,
It won't happen because everything is for profit. And don't confuse when I'm saying blah blah blah, everything's for profit, with complaints about capitalism. Because there are, I think a society that has pieces of every type of ism, whether it be capitalism, communism, socialism, a republic / liberalism. I think a piece of each one of those components can work. I just don't think you can go all in on one of them. So that's a really unpopular opinion, and that's why that's how you can make 5 groups mad at you at once. But you know what? It sucks because of the fact that people don't want to have a discussion about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they just want to talk shit.
Yeah. What you got me thinking about too when you talked about the grandstanding, it triggered a thought in my brain that's like, hey, you know what? One of the biggest kind of bullshit that we have in the world right now is the idea of carbon credits, because they should be transferable / sellable. Because what carbon credits and saying this amount of carbon is accepted annually, if we truly cared about reducing the environment, the ozone layer, all that sort of stuff, you should not be able to say, hey, I'm 20 carbon credits, arbitrary number. I'm 20 carbon credits over. And Phil goes, well, I'm 30 under. I'll sell you 20.
Yeah.
Because you're not offsetting anything at that point.
You're just trading the
it's still
whole
the same amount of carbon.
Yeah.
It should be everyone has a max, but obviously there should be, I think, bonuses or I don't know, cutbacks, costs. I don't know how it works, to be honest, like what a company is charged when they go over, because I know they are fined when they go over. But there should be incentive to go under. And that incentive to go under should not be, I can sell my credits.
Yeah.
Because that's not changing anything fast enough. So,
and I feel like
don't
that
think
also incentivizes like sketchiness too, because you could under
Volkswagen.
Yeah. yeah, exactly.
Literal carbon credits.
We don't accept that currency
Volkswagen
here.
clean diesel, gotta love it.
Yeah. Oh, Coalition Gaming asked if they talk about Jacob leaving EVGA. Not that surprising, to be honest. Look, I talked to them directly, and I think it's one of those things where they kind of created a little bit of a double-edged sword for themselves. And we'll get into the FTFA here in a moment. But so EVGA Jacob, or Jacob with EVGA, has been there for 17 years. Now, he was pretty well respected in the company and in the industry. With everything happening with them last year, announcing that they're not going to be a part of next-gen graphics between those 40 series, and now with Jacob leaving, I think there was a lot of like, oh, see, the company is like falling apart. The company's failing, you know? And so they decided like, hey, it's going to be kind of low key, not like a press announcement, just Jacob making a tweet. And then it's kind of created the situation like, look, they're trying to keep it quiet because the company's falling apart. So it's just, you got the public filling in their own blanks. But all I can say is based on the discussions I've had with them that like, there's 100% personal reason. Opportunity arose that Jacob is looking at this going, this is the direction his career in the future is going to go. I don't know where he's going. I don't know what offers he's received, etc. I can tell you, fulfillment discussion, like we were talking about earlier, if I were Jacob, and this is nothing I'm about to say has come from Jacob, this is just me speculating. If I were Jacob, and I'm a huge graphics enthusiast, which he is, a huge gaming enthusiast, which he is. If you ever watched his Twitter, he will post the most like pixel peepee type stuff because he is a huge graphics enthusiast in games and RTX and gameplay and all of it, right? If your company that you've been with for 17 years is no longer in that sector of the industry, your fulfillment level is going to drop a lot. I don't know if there was salary discussions. I don't know if there were cuts or even offers maybe to make him stay with more money. It probably wouldn't have mattered, because if he got an offer of like, okay, I can go somewhere. Obviously the money has to make sense. Clearly it must have, because he's not with EVGA anymore, to say, I can get back my fulfillment and my excitement for my career. I would do that. And I think that's kind of where he sort of is, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. Because if he's a graphics nerd and they're not doing graphics,
hardcore graphics nerd.
Yeah, or are you gonna nerd out?
Yeah. So I feel like he did absolutely what is most important for his career and his happiness. I don't think it was a money thing. I don't think EVJ's sinking or anything like that.
Oh, the EVGA police are coming.
I know.
There's sirens outside right now. You guys can hear it.
do we know EVGA's flexibility and mobility has... Oh yeah, here they come.
They're really coming.
Oh no,
it's getting so loud.
You said too much.
Do I feel like EVGA's liquidity and flexibility and all that has tightened a lot? Absolutely. I mean, you might have noticed that we're not running EVGA ads because, there was a mutual choice between them and us to like, hey, the budget that they have and the room that we have just didn't make sense. Supply and demand. It sucks, but it exists in pretty much every facet of business.
Yep.
So, all right, moving on. We're going to go into the FTFA section. This is from the freaking audience where you guys can write us your short emails. Send them to rtfm@JayzTwoCents.com if you have a question you think might somehow add to the... What?
Somebody was like, should change the company name to No VGA. Sorry.
I mean,
Anyway,
it's probably been told 100
FTFA,
times.
email us and stuff, and then we read it and stuff. And
I'm going to say this again as a little PSA so I can maybe save some of my own sanity.
short emails.
No.
Oh,
Don't send me like, Jay, what do you think of the 13600K?
wait, people actually said.
Don't send me which case is best. Okay? I trash so many emails because they're looking for like a very specific, very like tech-centric, like I want of the 7950X 3D or 3DX whatever, right? And this CPU, which is going to get less latency with more like trash instantly because
No, send those to Gamers
Nexus.
Nexus. No, I'm kidding.
okay.
Ask them about which cases have the best airflow.
So these are just questions I think if the question makes me go, when I read it, and they're almost always philosophical questions, which is great. All right. So this one comes from Alex. It says, my question goes out to Phil and how he is finding the new editing rig.
Oh, that's how this is philosophical. Sorry, I had to.
I am really interested in how the case performs in regards to cooling noise levels. I am thinking of changing my Corsair Graphite 780T to a fractal. He said fractal, but he means specifically the torrent.
The case is awesome for airflow.
I never hear your system except for when your
Yeah.
fans go full speed, which is rare.
Every once in a while, yeah. I think the cooling bottleneck in that system is the Dark Rock Pro.
Yeah.
I'm basically operating that 13900K at the limit of that Dark Rock Pro, where in that if I were to do a Cinebench run, it hovers around 80 to 90 degrees, like the low 90s or whatever. But I don't really care about that because I don't render Cinebench for work. I export in Premiere, and then in that case, like
GPU.
60, 70 degrees. Maybe 80 if like it's like a really weird CPU.
And we have bigger
intensive part.
coolers on hand if it turned out to be a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just we also were like, we need to keep this as reliable as possible and easy to work on.
And it was partly my curiosity. I wanted to see if a Dark Rock Pro could actually handle a
Because we
thing
wanted that
you
Noctua, but they didn't have the one we wanted.
Yeah.
So.
The Noctua definitely would have handled it.
And then we came back, we're like, oh, we have one. Remember that?
yeah, I'm just
We went on the shelf. I'm like, when did we get this? And Nick was like,
maybe
like
we'll switch
forever
it.
ago.
Maybe we'll switch it out for like an air cooler battle or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah,
So going from the Threadripper, what was it, the 3970X or whatever it was.
Well, so okay, well, he also says regards to cooling and noise levels. You said you barely hear my system. I definitely hear it more than the old water cooling system was, but that was just because that was under a constant fan speed.
That was a custom open loop.
I
it was a giant amount.
Yeah, you sit right next to his tower,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't notice anything. That he notices when my computer starts firing up with the coil whine. I'm like,
Ironically,
Oh, yeah.
no,
he has a 6800X that's just.
It's funny because I'm probably the one that's the most sensitive to noise, but I also I like SFF stuff, so I always have loud computers at home. But yeah, like, I mean, I've heard your computer spin up randomly. I'm like, what is Jay's
Mine's an
computer
Origin.
doing? Yeah.
Mine's gonna spin up.
It just randomly yeah, like one time you were in the bathroom and I just hear and I'm like,
Which
what
makes
is he
no
doing?
sense because it's a custom loop.
Yeah, and also like nothing was open except YouTube.
Background update or something.
who turned on their
Yeah.
PlayStation?
I just never went in and fine tuned the fan curve, which I think is a little too aggressive.
Yeah, it was probably doing like you said, updates.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that case is awesome. I think it looks awesome. I think genuinely even Steve liked it, which is that should just be the statement.
Always can delid. We still haven't made sure my delid CPU works.
Oh yeah,
I still haven't fired that one up because I'm waiting on gold plated parts for that build.
first world problems. They're like, should you get the 4070 or 3080? I'm waiting for gold stuff. Sleep sucks.
That's not very
What?
cash
It's
money
the
of
ultimate
you.
EVGA tribute. Come on.
Yeah, it has to be.
Gold plated radiator. Goldiator.
Oh my god.
All right. Rafa says, hey, my name's Rafa and I work for SpaceX. Phil nerds out so hard when he finds out like rocket scientists watch
Yeah,
this
like
channel.
it tripped me the F out that
That other guy.
Yeah, the other guy that said he was watching us for SpaceX.
He says, I love listening to you guys on my way to work at Starbase, Texas.
So fucking cool, and I'm gonna cuss and I don't even care. Shoot me.
He says, speaking of space, have you seen the gameplay for Starfield? If so, are y'all excited about it? Also, when's the next video on custom build reactions? I love watching those.
Don't you actually do it?
That too.
We'll have to do a React video. We haven't done one in a while.
What?
Where we look at people's builds.
Oh yeah.
Starfield. So I have not personally. It's gonna hit me.
Oh, my nipple!
That's the second time I hit him in the nipple once.
You said to shoot him.
I just looked away because I didn't want to get hit by it.
Oh, it's hard now. Weird.
No, it's bruised.
Do you want another?
It's called subdermal hematoma.
Maybe I discovered something about myself.
Well,
Achievement unlocked.
never too old to learn
Pain
something
or
new.
pleasure? What's the difference? No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Anyway, Starbase.
Starfield.
Starfield.
We know.
Yeah, no, he said, what's your have you seen the gameplay
Oh,
for
gameplay
Starfield?
for Starfield. Are you gonna play Starfield at Starbase?
I've not seen it. I don't know anything about this game.
I haven't really been following it that much. It looks really nice, but I know it's a Bethesda title, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch the cluster of launch.
Give it time.
Yeah, and see what happens.
Do you know anything about this title?
I've only read about it like when they announced it, and I knew Bethesda was behind it, so I'm assuming it's going to be like Elder Scrolls in space.
All I can say is if it's really good and there's a lot of like say space flight and stuff like that, then Phil will definitely play it based on what I've seen him play with Elite.
Plus, it's kind of hard to disappoint me with a space game, considering I've been a Star Citizen backer since like 2014. And like, or no, actually, I think it has been 10 years. Dang. Sorry, random tangent about Star Citizen, but like this is like one of the saddest facts about this. But like, there have been actual backers that have died of old age before the game has come out.
Someone in chat says, Phil, the FAA granted the Starship license a few minutes ago.
Yeah, let's go. April 17th is the date. Supposedly, I don't know.
For
Hey,
what?
Hey, Rafa, when are you guys launching Starship?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
gonna-
Yeah, because they
yeah.
had to get permission to launch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of like people.
Is that the one we were watching them do the autonomous landings? And then that one that just randomly blew up?
This is the BFR booster and the Starship, like as a full system now. This is gonna be their first orbital flight test. So it's gonna be either a really big boom or a really dope launch.
Could be both.
Could be both. Yeah. remember the
Yeah, the landing.
I think it was Starship 10.
The guy looked away and then it blew up. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, it blew up.
where they actually got a successful landing and an explosion.
Because it was like a hard landing, so it bent stuff. And
Yeah, it was like, no, I got this. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
retiring, guys. It just blew up. But
This one sounds like it was written by me, and I swear it wasn't me. It's from Jay, not me.
yeah, me and Nick were laughing at this.
Yeah.
Nick can actually. Oh, I guess you can answer this too. He says, "How do you guys manage multiple cars, registration, maintenance, etc.? I have 2 cars, a VW CC and a Porsche 997.2.
Nice.
And sometimes it can be overwhelming." He also goes on to say, I've modded them both and with only OEM hardware parts, VCDS and PIWIS mods, enabling hardware parts that are built into the platform via software and the ultimate hack. I have 7 cars. So I am late often on the registration.
You don't even like mark it on a calendar?
Wait, actually, no, because the majority of his calendar would be marked because there's more than 6 months.
No, so I have one due February.
I remember when I was filming in the car industry, somebody had like 11 cars, and they were like, I was like, wait, so you pay like a car registration every month? He was like,
I have a February. Okay, I have a February. I have a May.
Ugh.
No, a February and April, a May. Okay, so the ZL1 is February. The truck is April. The 68 is May. My
oh
wife.
yeah, I forgot that. We always forget that it exists because we haven't seen it in like 5 years.
No, there's updates. The headers and stuff are in.
So Star Citizen.
Wait,
and
I'm
Jay's
trying to remember all my
classic
cars. I need to concentrate. Yes, I'm a car snob. I've worked hard and I don't regret this, okay? So the ZL1 is in February. The truck is in April. The 68 is in May. My RS6 is my RS6 is September. My R8 is October. And my wife's SQ7 is October. I have 6 cars. I forgot I sold one.
This is JayzTwoCents in chat. Truth, even when we only owned 1 car, he was still late. LOL.
That had to have been my wife.
Jay's exposed. Yeah, no, it was.
Man.
Yeah.
just got
Do you know
roasted.
why? Because she never paid it. She doesn't pay the bills. She doesn't keep track of when they're paid.
Nick, Mom and Dad are fighting again. I'm scared.
Well, Jay, to answer your
Does
question,
my wife say, hey, did we pay the registration? And my wife says, you didn't pay the registration.
sucks.
It's like, you have internet, a license plate, and a phone as well.
I kind of have a different approach.
I'm just kidding, babe.
When I get the letters in the mail, I mark it on my calendar, but it's usually, they're both back to back. So March and April.
For the record, it just reminded me, I think the truck is late.
Oh. Jeez.
Hey, thanks, Email
Jay.
Jay. Yeah, you reminded RJ of the fact that his registration's late. So how does he manage it? He doesn't.
Yeah, mine's
Every
more,
single one of my cars are modified except my wife's.
Mine's more chaotic and dumb. When one car is broken, the other car is working. But
They almost were both broken
Yeah,
at the
they're
same time. I was like, ooh, what's
almost.
going to happen? He's going to finally buy another one.
Yeah, and then mine doesn't count because I basically have
if
one
that was going
planned
to happen,
out.
it would have just been a fire sale.
Yours
at that
doesn't
point.
count because it's a crash test car.
Yeah, my daily is a crash test car, and then my other car is a planned non-op.
We gotta print some stickers, the crash test dummy stickers.
I know. I wanted to get
Just, like,
another
mark
big.
it.
I wanted to get another big Band-Aid sticker for that thing too.
I feel so bad because as much as it sucks, like the bad Asian driver stigma, your car is beat to hell and not a single one of those dents is
because
your
of you.
fault.
Yeah, there are four like collision.
Accidents.
Yeah, there are 4 accidents on that. One of them was by the previous owner of the car. And then another one was I was parked here at work and then somebody hit it and left a note with a fake number. And then another one was I got
It's like, why leave a note with a fake number?
Yeah, probably to make it look like they were
Oh, yeah.
yeah, grandstanding or whatever. And then another one was I was at Walmart backing out and then somebody else that was like opposite did that really fast. And then recently I got sideswiped by somebody that wasn't paying attention when they changed lanes. And me and Jay
That
were
one was just the other, like last week.
yeah.
No, that was this week.
It was this week. It was Monday.
Yeah. So
Monday was
okay,
Monday.
story time. Story time with JayzTwoCents.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you witnessed somebody cutting me off too.
So
like right before
Phil and
that.
there is there's something that happens in the environment when he and I are together in a car. Everyone tries to kill us.
Yeah.
Okay, we've experienced this driving to Micro
It
Center.
doesn't matter who's
wherever.
driving.
No.
It doesn't matter as long as me and Jay are in or near each other in a car or with our.
Well,
same
we
cars.
recently learned it's if we are near each other in different cars.
Even in different cars, yeah, it still happens.
So we both left the office at the same time. Phil was in front of me in like one lane over, and we're driving past a gas station, and this truck just pulls out in front of him.
And then goes like 15 miles an hour.
So Phil, of course, has to like jam the brakes and slow down. And as I'm passing Phil, he has this face. Right? And I texted him, yes, while driving. I texted him and said, wow.
Just say that.
You got CarPlay.
How else would I text him, right?
Hey Siri,
You texted him over
text
Siri.
Phil.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that
hey,
with my
don't do
car. I don't do that with. Oh,
We're trying to cover for you.
no, I texted, okay? But my car also has like self-driving, so whatever. Maybe it was on. Anyway, I texted Phil and was like, yo, we don't even have to be in the same car. And then he was like, did you see my face? And I'm like, I did the kid going emoji. So anyway, he pulls up next to me at the red light and I was like, yo, he's like, yeah, that face is exactly what I made. I'm like, dude, it's like, what the heck? Anyway, I told him, I said, be careful on your way home. And he was like, all right. I'm like, good luck. He literally texts 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I just got sideswiped.
I made 2 turns. I turned off that street to go south, and then I turned on another street, and then literally 30 seconds later, when I got sideswiped.
Yeah, not even 5 minutes later, he was like, bro, I just got sideswiped. And he shows a picture. I'm like, oh my God.
Then me when I get home reading the tree that followed from this conversation. Like, oh my God.
It's just like me and Jay have joked that car is invisible because it's just
Yeah,
like,
I said it. I said it's the most invisible car on the planet.
it's like a metallic champagne Honda Civic from the 2000s. So it's just generic car one.
It's a Honda 2000.
Honda 2000.
It's like that pewter colored, like a 2005.
Like brownish.
right? Yeah.
Basically, I wanted a Prius without it being as ugly as a Prius, so I got that Civic. But
So I made the comment. I'm like, I often wonder, like, I know what I pay you. All right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I often wonder, like, why haven't you gotten a new car yet? And I even told him, I was like, I tell him all the time, I'm like, why did you get a new car? I said, and now I get it.
yeah. Because I'm gonna be so scared the moment I finally do.
And Phil is a safe driver.
Yeah.
Phil is literally a 10 and 2. His upright sitting position. He's not one of those guys that's like leaning into the passenger seat, just being all dumb behind the wheel. No, he's a very cautious driver. Phil, I have control issues. Okay, I think a lot of people might agree with that. I don't like being a passenger in a car. But Phil is one of the
actually. Yeah, I've never heard you like.
Phil is one of the
weird.
few people that I can ride with and not feel anxiety about being a passenger
Because you and I think you
because of his driving.
Yeah.
I have anxiety in his car for other reasons that we've just described.
Yeah, it's the curse, but like it's the.
There's been a lot of like whoa, like dodging people coming into our lanes and stuff, and I'm literally now just like this in the car.
And I think
Close one.
it's because me and Jay are so cynical towards the public. That's why we're good defensive drivers because we automatically assume everyone is the dumbest.
We drive
idiot.
like we were on a motorcycle.
Yeah, exactly. And and the funny thing was when I was coming up on the right lane because that lady had freaked out and slowed down like crazy because the truck turned into the turn lane, like the middle lane.
So you guys know 18-wheelers will often occupy the suicide/turn lane when they're coming out into traffic or getting ready to turn or something. Like they'll often
It's the middle lane that you can use to turn off or on.
The industrial part of the town that he's talking about, there's tons of big rigs that will utilize those lanes and sometimes park there. But I guess this truck pulled out too fast.
Well, the truck just pulled out at a normal like rate and then went into the middle lane. But it freaked out the Honda CR-V that was next to me or next to.
Oh, it's friendly fire.
In the lane next to it. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, and more than once the one because she was Filipino. It's a literal double friendly fire.
I can't touch that.
But So anyway, so she slows down, and I was like, as soon as I saw her like panicking, I was like, she's gonna do something stupid. But then she slowed down and she didn't lane change, so I was like, okay, cool. So then I kind of just tried to slip past her, and then as soon as I was doing that, I was like, this feels like a mistake. And then I hear, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen that coming.
But you can't. I mean, there's a lot of anticipation you can have as a driver to try and avoid something, but you can't necessarily anticipate someone jamming the brakes and hard yanking the wheel into your lane.
Yeah, exactly. And then the ironic thing is that obviously because it was a CRV, like it was like the plastic dip part of the bumper that hit me, so that there's like no visible damage on that car either.
I'm not going to even say what I want to say, that it's been a long time since I've experienced the thing, but I'm not going to say it. Because I know, like, I love all my cars and I don't want anything to happen to any of them. Sometimes people are like, yeah, hit me. I want the money. I don't want the money. I want my car. Okay.
I've had one accident that I was at fault and...
It's because you were looking at a booty.
No, that's not an accident. That was just a curbed wheel.
Yes,
but
Phil. Oh, yeah, that's right. Phil did hit a curb once because he was checking someone out on the sidewalk.
I curbed a T37, RIP. But anyway,
it's okay.
But it has the best story behind how it got curbed.
It was a beautiful booty. But anyway, the one that I was at fault at was I rear-ended a Beamer on the freeway because traffic had stopped, and I was taking too long to check my blind spot to try to lane change to avoid it. And
so you were trying to be safe while being unsafe.
Yeah, basically, which is why the Golf has a wink mirror in it, because my friends bought it for me. They were like, here, so you don't have to turn around to check your blind spot. And I've been driving safe, but I was gonna say that the reason I bring that up is because that, like, ever since then, I've just been very, defensive and very cautious about what cars are around me.
Phil has dash cams, by the way.
Yeah.
In chat.
But my stupid SD card, I don't know if I'm still trying to pull the footage off of it. But
that's gonna suck if that's the one that doesn't work and she's like, hit me.
I know. But what is it? Dang it! I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I've been driving safe and cautious ever since then, and I'm always like, where are my exit routes? You know what I mean? What cars are being jackasses and which cars are driving?
Don't be right next to another car. You need to leave yourself escape route.
Yeah, and oh my god, the excuse she gave me. They come out and they're so fast. I'm like, it weighs 80,000 pounds. It can't physically do anything fast.
She also probably that alone makes it sound like she has frequented that street and should have been maybe expecting big rigs to turn out like that. And even though it didn't encroach in her lane at all, from what you said.
Yep. No.
So it's not like she was pushed over.
Yeah, because after the contact, I looked back.
Calling it now. Her insurance is going to say that big rig forced her into your lane.
I know.
That sucks.
Anyway, yeah. Get a dash cam, guys.
Like I said,
get a dash cam, and also periodically make sure that the card the media is good too, because
it does sit out and get baked in the sun and all that stuff. And gets hot
actually, a dash cam is probably the worst case scenario for an SD card because it's just always going to be overheated and baked and everything. So
baked,
bro.
Yeah. Well, speaking of baked. Phil and I are supposed to play Rocket League tonight while influenced.
Maybe.
Being the influenced influencers, I guess.
Have fun with that.
You're going to watch it.
We gotta have to use... You should join too. Might as well.
No, I got plans to do Monster Hunter tonight. So.
Monster Hunter. Yeah. Tell Renee I said hi.
That's not, if Renee is there, then he's there. At a different group.
Your face right now, you're like, I don't know.
If Renee's gonna be on, he's gonna be on.
All right. Well, if you guys are going to be
We're asking
on,
what time.
you should go to twitch.tv/JayzTwoCents and just follow now so you get a notification of when you go, because I don't know what time it's going to be. So I'm going to be at the gym from 4:30 to 5:30, probably come home, shower, and then do it sometime after that. Because if it's too late, I'm going to get really tired. But anyway, the music's done now, and I got to stop the thingy now. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.